So the Carabao Cup third round begins for Manchester United on Tuesday night, where we've probably had the most kindest draw for the start of trying to win back the Carabao Cup from obviously last season's winners, Liverpool, where we came crashing and tumbling down to Newcastle at home last season at Old Trafford, where we lost 3-0 and the defence of the Carabao Cup after one season was over. And it's, to be fair, we've got the kindest draw out of the whole competition so far. And I think that is the kind of start Manchester United need to try and somehow win back the Carabao Cup, where I think the cup competitions are Manchester United's most realistic options of trying to win any silverware this season, because I don't think, in my view, at this current moment in time, I don't think we'll get top four. I think European football is an absolute distant dream away from Manchester United this season currently. And I think realistically, I think the cup competitions in the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, and possibly trying to win the UEFA Europa League is Manchester United's best chance of winning any silverware this season under Eric Ten Hag in his third season in charge of Manchester United Football Club. Obviously, we begin on Tuesday night. We play League One Barnsley, who are managed by ex-Bristol Rovers and Cheltenham manager Darrell Clarke. Obviously, yesterday afternoon in Sky Bet League One, they lost 3-0 away to Stevenage, which obviously is a bit of a crap result for a Barnsley fan perspective. Barnsley are having a really, really up and down season so far. In their first 6 games, they've picked up 10 points. So it's not exactly been great from a Barnsley perspective at the start of their League One season under Darrell Clarke. Obviously managed Bristol Rovers, obviously got them promoted from the Van Rama National League back up to the League Two. And then Bristol Rovers then went up again. And obviously he was currently the manager of Cheltenham Town last season. Obviously they faced relegation to Sky Bet League Two. So Manchester United, I think realistically have got to take this Carabao Cup very, very seriously this season, because like I said, I think it's the most realistic chance of trying to win any trophy, because I think at this current moment, I think where we are currently, we are 10th in the Premier League. Obviously, we beat Southampton 3-0 yesterday afternoon, which was a vital 3 points of Manchester United to get back to winning ways in the league. But I think, winning the Carabao Cup would be a good start to try and continue this momentum of winning trophies under Eric Ten Hag. And I think United have got to take it seriously, because it is our best chance. For me, it's our best option. And I wouldn't mind going to another final and trying to win back the Carabao Cup, because obviously the defence last season was a complete joke. We were ripped apart by Newcastle at Old Trafford. We got absolutely torn apart. And I think realistically, this should be quite a convincing win for Manchester United. But I think, Barnsley are going to want to cause an upset. They are going to want to cause a big major shock in the Carabao Cup. But I think realistically, I look at Barnsley perspective so far in League One. You've picked up 10 points from 6. It's not exactly great from a Barnsley fan perspective, knowing Manchester United have obviously dismantled Southampton really, really progressively yesterday. And I think the same conclusion will happen on Tuesday night. I think a lot of these teams realistically do not give a shit about the Carabao Cup. I see a lot of it happening around the last few seasons. I think the Carabao Cup is no more than the UEFA Nations League. I don't think the Carabao Cup should be existing no longer in the English football pyramid. I think the Carabao Cup is a complete and utter waste of time. And yes, it is a trophy. Yes, it is silverware. And yes, it is nice to go to Wembley, play at the national team's home stadium in a cup final to try and win a bit of silverware. But I think the Carabao Cup, realistically, it could be a distraction for Barnsley, and it could be a bit of momentum for Manchester United to carry on with their winning momentum from yesterday afternoon. And obviously, we should win this game. I'm not saying, it's going to be difficult. I'm not saying it's going to be really straightforward, but I think Manchester United will have to play quite a strong team. I don't see Eric Ten Hag making a hostile load of changes, because I think he's one that can pick up with some momentum from yesterday's result. And I think, that's the way going forward for me. I think we play our best team. I think we go with our best players. And I would only probably tinker with a few players and make a few little changes here and there to give some players a rest from yesterday's game. But again, we are lacking quite a lot of options at the moment. Obviously, We are still waiting an update on Mazraoui's injury. We're still waiting for an update on Martinez injury still. So that is a bit of a negative heading into Tuesday. We are still kind of waiting an update for both of those players, which we still haven't been given one, which is a bit worrying in Manchester United's perspectives. If those injuries are bad to Mazraoui and it's a bad injury to Martinez, we potentially are going to have to end up going back to Maguire and Evans, which absolutely, terrifies me, that we might have to go with that starting centre-back partnership against a League One club. And I think if you look at Barnsley's players, there's a lot more youth attacking young players going forward in the perspective for Barnsley's attacking approach. But I think realistically, I look at that Barnsley team and you shouldn't be losing 3-0 to Stevenage yesterday. I think, again, Darryl Clark so far, he's doing an all right job at Barnsley. I think it is a big job. Obviously, Barnsley are quite an historic club. They have been in top flight before. They have been in the Premier League and they have been in the Championship, but they have become a bit of a yo-yo club between League One and the Sky Bet Championship, and they get promoted and relegated, promoted and then relegated. And I think obviously that defeat yesterday for Barnsley, it doesn't put towards any kind of positive result for them on Tuesday night, because I think this will go one way and one way only. I would be shocked if Manchester United lose. I would be absolutely disgusted if we were to go out, because I really want to take this quite seriously this season. I want a serious season. I don't want to be messing about. I want to be going for all trophies that are available and all options. And I think Ten Hag, again, he does need to pick his best team. He does need to pick his best players. Will he make any changes? Again, like I said, we are still waiting for an update from Manchester United regarding Martinez and Mazraoui. And if both of them are injured, it does really, really worry me, because I don't really want to go with Maguire and Evans, because we'll be back to the same old shit from last season where we basically cannot defend on the pitch. That really, really does worry me, because knowing what Maguire and Evans are like, both of their futures really, I think, lie away from this football club. And I want Ten Hag to start trying to push these players through the pain barrier. I know obviously you might have been feeling an injury here and there, but I don't really want to take any necessary risks and risk them and the injuries get worse. But if I'm looking at it from a logical point of view, if we were to go out, and it might be a positive if we were to be knocked out, because it would give the team an extra rest, it'd give them an extra break. But again, I don't understand that really. I think United, I think they'll want to try and somehow win back the Carabao Cup, because that defence last season, again, was shocking. You shouldn't be getting battered 3-0 by Newcastle at home. That was absolutely fucking horrific how we gave up the defence of this last season. It was pretty shambolic from a Manchester United point of view. And I think, I want to try and win it back, because when you see your arch rivals Liverpool win it, it's kind of a kick in the teeth, really, because you don't really want to see your main competitor in English football rivaling you for your trophies. And when you lose that defence, I think it gives you the energy and the anger and the frustration to get that in a bit more of a positive alignment where we want to win it back. Like, again, it's not the end of all, winning the Carabao Cup. I mean, if you win it, you get Europa Conference League football if you to win that competition. But again, United need to be aiming for bigger and higher statuses at this football club, because I want to win. I really want to be able to, go for it. And I want to be able to show, what? We aren't going to get messed around. And I want a quite convincing performance. I would like to get the game done by halftime so we can tinker with the team at halftime. But again, Ten Hag is lacking a back four still, because if you've got no Martinez and you've got no Mazraoui, who the hell do you play at centre-back next to De Ligt? And obviously, we got an update from Romani yesterday that De Ligt has not got an injury. So De Ligt is absolutely fine. So again, that is quite a big positive heading towards Tuesday night. And obviously, we're having to do the look ahead today, because obviously I haven't got time to do it Monday. I don't want to do it near the hours on Monday morning. And for me, I realistically want to get it done now so it's out the way and we can be able to do some content this evening. There'll be a few F1 video shorts uploaded tonight as well. Obviously, Oscar Piastri won the Azerbaijan Grand Prix today, which I'm really, really happy about. I had a gut feeling he'd win today. And again, he's come out on top and he's been the best driver on the grid today. So yeah, we've got that planned. So yeah, I think Ten Hag again. We haven't got any left backs, so I don't know who the hell you play at left back on Tuesday, because if you've got no Mazraoui, Delo will have to go up to right back. I think if Martinez is a doubt, you'll have to go with Maguire and De Ligt. I mean, do you give Harry Amas a chance at left back against Barnsley on Tuesday night? For me, I don't think he's ready. I don't really want to take unnecessary risk on players that are not ready to play competitive football for Manchester United quite yet. I don't think he's ready. I don't understand why Man United haven't really sanctioned a loan move for Harry Amas. I don't understand why he's at the club still. If you're not going to use him, send him out on loan to like a championship club where he's going to be playing week in, week out for one of those teams, or even League One to an extent. I think he could have done with some game time, but I think the injuries to Malacia and Luke Shaw, who are both injury prone, long-term injuries again, which again is no surprise, Manchester United have had to keep him because we haven't got options. But I'm kind of hoping Mazraoui will be fit, because again, he's been an absolute bargain since we bought him from Bayern Munich. I think again, how people can't see the quality in him is absolutely it. But it quite frankly really frustrates me, because again, I know Diego Delo isn't good enough. I think we all got that yesterday when he gave away that penalty where we could have got 1-0 down to Southampton, and he got again Franco Nana for keeping United in the game and keeping it 0-0. Again, a lot of people know that I am not Diego Delo's biggest fan, and I think United would be bigger and better without Diego Delo long term at Manchester United. And I think if Real Madrid came in, I would sell him in a heartbeat and just get what you can for him, because I just don't rate the guy. I think Mazraoui is an upgrade, not just on Wan-Bissaka, obviously, who's now at West Ham. He's obviously a massive upgrade on Diego Delo. Diego Delo defensively is shocking, and even going forward, he's even worse. I don't see what Diego Delo offers his team. And again, at left back yesterday, it showed the naivety in his game when we haven't got a traditional left back at Man United. It will cost you defensively when you've got bigger and better teams with better players attacking you. And again, I mean, no disrespect to Southampton. They are a B-Tech fucking bloody Portsmouth. They are beyond shocking how crap Southampton are. I think, to be honest with you, I think we need a left back. And again, when we were told in the summer that we were going to buy a left back, why didn't a left back get brought? And I see a lot of people, and even myself, saying Reguilon should have been brought back, and I completely agree. But I see a lot of United fans being negative and not so sure that, oh, we don't want a stopgap left back. Well, do you want a left back or not? That's the big talking point here. We've got no left back. Why didn't Man United buy one? Or why didn't they just try and get a deal done with Reguilon from Tottenham, who was available? But they could have got Reguilon really cheap. They could have got him for like 3-4 million, in my view, because Tottenham, he's surplus requirements. Tottenham do not want Sergio Reguilon. He did a good job for us, and at least he can keep himself in. So again, that for me was a bit of bad business from United in the summer transfer window. We should have bought a left back, and it's a regretful one. I think at least, he's better than Luke Shaw, and he's better than Malacia. At least he can stay fit. And I think it would have been a good opportunity to start him against the League One club, because this should be a riot on Tuesday night. This should be an absolute riot on Barnsley's goal. Like, I don't think Barnsley will keep a clean sheet. I think Barnsley, especially yesterday, if you're conceding 3 to Stevenage, you're playing Manchester United. Like, you're not going to come to Old Trafford and rip up any trees. I think Barnsley are probably going to try and park the bus. And I think they're going to try and put every man behind the wall, every man behind the ball. And they want to try and keep Manchester United out of every attack that's going to get thrown at them. But I think, Manchester United will have too much of Barnsley. And like I said, if this game can get done by half time, I think it's a major, major positive. Because, again, we can then rotate in the second half. But, again, you look at that bench, who does Eric Ten Hag call on? Because, do we give Anthony a game? Do we drop Rashford? Do we not play Bruno? Do we not play Mainu? I think, personally, you've got to go with the same team as yesterday. But I would change that midfield, and I would change that attack and go with a more youthful attacking approach for Tuesday night. That was what I would do. Like, I would start Garnacho ahead of Rashford and have Rashford on the bench to come on in the second half, give him 15, 20 minutes. I think Xerxes could do with having to start again, because we've got no striker, have we? We have still got no Rasmus Højlund. He is expected to be at least back by the Crystal Palace game on Saturday. So, again, we are stuck with a striker who has gone 4 games this season, has scored 1 goal. And I was having a discussion with my mate yesterday, who's also a massive Man United fan, and he said Xerxes would not be the right striker signing for Man United, and he's not taking chances already. And again, I do have to agree with him, because he's not scoring goals. 1 goal in 4 games is pretty shit. But again, he did have 2 good chances yesterday to score, which he should have took. And it is a bit frustrating, it is disappointing. But I think, again, Xerxes is probably still trying to adapt to being a Premier League player. And against Premier League opposition, he is going to find it tough to put the ball into the back of the opposition net. But I think, I think he'll get there. And I think, again, he'll have to start Tuesday. Because like I said, where's the options? We haven't got any fucking options, have we? We haven't really got any options that is going to frighten anybody. Like, we haven't got that squad depth. And a lot of people have been saying we should have signed a second striker. I completely agree. Because when you lose Rasmus, and God forbid if we lose Xerxes, we are screwed, because you can't put Rashford down the middle. He ain't no striker. And then we're going to end up going back to a false 9 again that no one wants to see Man United play under Erik ten Hag, which, again, I agree. I think playing a false 9 absolutely terrifies the shit out of me. It really, really, really does frighten me so much that we are still playing false 9s. And again, I think yesterday we went back to that traditional 4-3-3. I don't know why we didn't do it against Brighton, why we didn't do it against Fulham. I think United probably could have won both those games. And do you know what? If we'd have done that against Liverpool, we might have actually got a point or a result. But again, we got destroyed 3-0 at Old Trafford, which was embarrassing. So again, there's a lot of positivity from yesterday. I think we played well when Onana saved that penalty and we were on the attack in front foot and Southampton couldn't cope. I think, again, like I stated yesterday, when Jack Stevens got sent off, that was a big, big positive for Man United going forward. Because then you look at the amount of chances we then created them when they were down to 10 men. We were creating so many chances. Southampton couldn't cope. And I think that's the way it's going to go on Tuesday. And I think that is going to be the pattern of play. I think it's going to be non-stop Manchester United possession. I think it'll be non-stop Manchester United attacks. I mean, Barnsley might try and snatch the odd goal here and there, but where do you look at that Barnsley team? Because they had Devante Cole last season, who is Andy Cole's son, ex-Manchester United legend of this club. They lost him for free. Like, that is bloody embarrassing. From a Barnsley perspective, that is bloody embarrassing, losing your star player for free. Like, you don't send your star players out of the club on a free. Obviously, was his contract up? I'm not really sure, because I don't really keep an eye on Barnsley. I mean, this should be a win-win situation. But again, you look at their struggles yesterday, losing 3-0 to Stevenage says they've got a lot of defensive problems. They've got no attacking options for that midfield. I don't really think they've got one. I don't see any Barnsley players in that team that are going to cause Manchester United any problems. And we can have a look at who Barnsley have actually got, because I don't see who really is going to cause Man United any big problems. I mean, the only really 2 standouts, really, in that Barnsley team are Davis Kelladon, who was at Mansfield last season, Conor Hourihane, who's an ex-Premier League with Aston Villa, played for Derby, Adam Phillips. I mean, you look at that Barnsley team. I mean, Sam Cosgrove, wasn't he at AFC Bournemouth at one point? Max Waters. I mean, I look at that Barnsley team and I look at it and it's like, they are not going to cause Man United problems. Looking at that and look at who they've got, I'm just looking and thinking to myself, do you know what? If I was a Barnsley fan, I'd be hiding behind the sofa every time Manchester United go on the attack, because I don't see any threat in that Barnsley team. Like, you're looking at those players they've got now. Where's their threat? Where's their goal scorers? They haven't got any. And again, I don't even recognise any of their back four. Like, I only know a few of those players. I only know like 2 or 3. Not a lot of them I know. But again, Barnsley, what's their focus? Is it on the league or do they need a cup run? I think this would be bigger and better for Barnsley to go out so they can focus on their League One campaign. Because again, like I keep saying, a lot of teams do not give a shit about this. It's a complete waste of time anyway. It's nothing more than watching the UEFA Nations League, which is a completely pointless competition. And, having an international break for 2 weeks was beyond pathetic, wasn't it? And again, we've got another one in October, which absolutely sucks. So, again, I think that for me, it would be a better option if Barnsley went out. But again, it might benefit Man United if they crash out because, again, I don't know their focus. I don't know where the targets are. But I think Man United will want to be setting out a stall here where we don't want to get messed around anymore and we want to be winning on all fronts. And I think Erik ten Hag will take this seriously. I think, he will pick... I think he'll pick the team he knows can get him a win. And that will come with some changes. I mean, for the midfield, we don't really have a midfield because that Tomley's no longer here. Hannibal Mabry's no longer here. Mason Mount is injured. I mean, Agate will probably start on Tuesday. I think Agate will probably start because, again, I was a bit frustrated he didn't start yesterday, but again, apparently he'd been ill on international break and only had a few sessions of Man United here and there since he joined the club. Well, maybe if Man United would have got that deal done a lot quicker instead of wasting 2 months on it, he might have been already playing competitive football for us at the start of the season. But again, the positive was yesterday was bringing him on in that second half. And there's just a small little cameo appearance that he did yesterday. I'm impressed with what I'm seeing. Like, this might be the missing piece to the jigsaw puzzle that Man United have been desperately crying out for. I mean, if Agate can take this midfield where we all want it to be, we have got a good midfield on our hands. Again, he's going to be a world-class midfielder. He's going to be a world-class player. And I think, he was treated badly at PSG. I think he was shown a lack of respect by their fans and their supporters. And I think he was shown a lack of respect by the manager and the owners of their club. Because obviously PSG are in a pub league. They beat everybody because no one else can fucking compete with them. So, again, I think Agate will be given a start on Tuesday. And I'm hoping he will because, again, I don't want to be heading 2 matches in and he's not starting games for Manchester United because you do wonder, again, what still really worries me. It doesn't worry me at the moment, but it's going to worry me long term that those 10 Hag comments he made 2 weeks ago. It still says that, I'm not Harry Potter and it might take weeks, it may take months for Agate to be up to the level that we want him to be. I disagree with Erik ten Hag. I think Eric's got to use him quite quickly because I think longevity, Casemiro ain't going to be able to do it. Eriksen, we all know, is going to go at the end of this season, in next summer in 2025. Casemiro, I think they'll try and shift in January or at least in the summer. But again, we need all options available because I think we are 1 or 2 injuries away in that midfield from being screwed. Because if you lose Fernandes and you lose Mainu and Mount's injured, McTominay and Hannibal Mabry are gone, you are left with Eriksen, Casemiro and Agate. And again, that is not enough options to go for the rest of the season. Like, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Adrien Rabiot this week. Again, I'm seeing a lot of fans saying we don't want him here because his mum, who's his agent, is a big problem. He's demanding stupid wages and a stupid signing on fee to be at Manchester United. At the end of the day, I have to disagree massively because at least his mum cares about his career. At least his mum is showing that she cares about her son. Like, again, Rabiot is better than what we've got. He's better than Casemiro and he's better than Eriksen. And for me, he's better than Mason Mount. Like, realistically, Mount needs that number 7 shirt taken off him. And this might have been a good game for Mount on Tuesday if he was fit. Like, if Mason Mount was available, they might have actually picked him. But again, his injuries, he's got more injuries in a paper cut. He's becoming Luke Shaw. He's becoming Malacia. You pick up one injury and then the injuries are just going to keep on happening because your body is feeling it, because the injury you keep on getting, the more injuries you get around where the injury is, the more injuries you're going to get. And that's the problem. Like, if we had Mount, he might play Tuesday and he might have rested Bruno or Mainu. I don't think Ten Hag's going to do it. Again, he might start Agate a bit more further forward, but Agate is a CDM. Agate is that CDM that we do need in that midfield. I mean, do you drop Mainu and Fernandes and play Eriksen, Casemiro further forward and let Agate do that CDM role? Again, I don't think that's the right answer, because I think, again, I saw Mainu yesterday and I thought, he really did struggle. I think it's because he's playing too much football. But again, that is because of his quality. I think without Mainu and Fernandes, where would we be? We wouldn't have no midfield. We wouldn't have it. So I wouldn't necessarily drop them. But again, I mean, the more game time they get, the more problematic it's going to become, because they're not getting the rest and they're not getting the break. And I think this is why we need Rabiot. And I'm kind of hoping we will get a here we go this week and he signs for Manchester United, because that is going to be a good option going forward for the rest of the season, because your midfield roster is going to be Fernandes, Mainu, Agate, Casemiro. Fernandes, Mainu, Eriksen, Casemiro, Agate. I keep forgetting what I'm thinking. Right, let's start this again. Fernandes, Mount, Mainu, Agate, Eriksen, Casemiro, Collier, and Rabiot. If you have all those 8, bloody hell, that might be the best midfield in the league. That might be the best midfield this league's seen at this club. I'm not against Rabiot signing. I don't care if he wants stupid wages. I don't care if his mum wants a stupid signing on fee for him. But at least he's showing that I'm going to get you that move. And I think it will happen. And if people saying, oh, we're against it, we don't want him here. Well, let's put into a situation where you lose Mainu and Fernandes to an injury. What do we do then? Because Mount is still out. When's he coming back? No, there's been no confirmation. What do you do? So it would be nice to have a win this week and then get Rabiot, because that's 2 massive possibilities, and great news, because that midfield is going to get better with Rabiot in it. Like, he's had an amazing career at Juventus. He's done brilliant with the French national team. So I don't see why so many United fans and supporters are against it. I think you're either stuck in your old ways, or you'd rather have McTominay and Hannibal Mabry here. Like, he's a massive upgrade on what we've got, and people are against the signing. Like, I think just wake up a little bit. Rabiot adds instant quality. At least he gives his all in a Juventus shirt, and I think he would do that for Man United. He's got so much quality in him that a lot of people don't see. Like, I've seen him play for Juventus. He's quality. I've seen him play in that French national team midfield. Look how much balance and creativity he brings, and his ball movement. Like, you add that into that Man United midfield roster, bloody hell, we've got a good team. Like, we've got a good team. So just, look at it from a bigger perspective. Just, see what this will do to Man United. It will make the team better. So, again, as for the midfield, again, Erik Ten Hag did take a massive risk yesterday by playing Eriksen in that CDM role. And again, he's not he's not a defensive midfielder. He's more of an attacking midfielder. And I don't think that really helped him yesterday, because you could see in those first 35 minutes, Southampton were battering us. They were really, really battering us. Like, that was quite frightening that a promoted club like Southampton, who have been, well, a joke since they've been back, I don't want them ever again in this division, because they are just shocking. It frightened me, because I knew Eriksen wasn't comfortable in that position. And again, that is on Erik Ten Hag for picking him. He is making the calls. He's making the team selection. So I think we could have done with a bit more stability in that midfield yesterday, because I think it was just getting overrun. And again, I don't think that helps Mainu, and I don't think that really helps Fernandes, because they're doing their roles as well as Eriksen's. And Eriksen is suffering at CDM because he's having to try and keep that back four protected, where we all deep down know he can't fucking do it. Again, like for me, if I'm the manager of this fucking football club, and when we do our EAFC 25 career mode with Man United, which is going to hopefully start this week on Friday afternoon, which I'm really excited for. Can't wait to be starting our EAFC 25 career mode. I'm not going to be keeping Eriksen and Casemiro like that around the club. I'm not going to keep them because I think, again, long-term longevity of both players, they won't get the game time. I think soon as Mount's back, he'll be ahead of Eriksen and he'll be ahead of Casemiro. Ugarte is going to be ahead of those two as well as Mount himself. So again, if you add Rabiot into that mix, Rabiot will be ahead of Mount and he'll be ahead of Eriksen and Casemiro. Ugarte will be ahead of Eriksen, Mount and Casemiro. Rabiot and Ugarte will be ahead of all three of them. So I don't see how those three are going to have a midfield future here when they're not going to get the game time. So, the changes I would make to that midfield, I think, you're going to have to keep Fernandes there. You're going to have to keep Mainu there because otherwise that midfield ain't got no balance for Tuesday. And the only change I would make, I drop Eriksen out and I bring Ugarte in and give him a full debut and get him to play 90 minutes because he's going to need the match sharpness. He's going to need the match fitness. I want to see what long-term Ugarte is going to offer Manchester United's midfield because he's one of the best CDMs in the world. Like, you don't get that a lot being said by the owners and Ineos. He's one of the best upcoming CDM footballers in world football. Like, that says the type of quality of player that Manchester United are actually getting. And I tell you what, may that come true because, I want Ugarte to be a success. And he's instantly becoming a fan favourite for me already. I absolutely love him. Like what I saw yesterday, some of the passes he was making that others can't anticipate was brilliant. Like some of the tackles he was putting in, like he's not even been on the pitch 3 or 4 minutes, but he's already making quite a big, strong impact on where that midfield is. And it's showing that, bloody hell, PSG have actually let someone good come to our club. And I think it might be a regret because obviously PSG have got João Neves now. But I'm kind of hoping Ugarte is going to show PSG what they're missing because, again, I think he's just been shown a lack of respect. I think, he's been massively taken the piss out of. Man United and PSG should have got this deal done quicker than anticipated. And again, we've had to wait for McTominay to fuck off, basically. So, I think, Ugarte, I think as soon as he settles in and he's given the game time and he does what he can do, you ain't going to see Casemiro in a United shirt. And that bench is going to get a lot warmer with him sat on it. And it'll be the same for Eriksen. It'll be the same for Mount. Good luck getting back in the team. And if Rabiot comes, I mean, where do you put them then? Where do you put those three? They won't play. Their futures are over. As soon as Ugarte's here, which he is, and when hopefully we will get Rabiot, those three players' futures are going to be away from this club, and they will get rid of them. They'll be gone. And if I was Eriksen and I was Casemiro, I'd be searching for a January move away because you ain't going to play, and we need better. We do need better. And again, I'm not saying Eriksen played bad yesterday, but I just think long-term he hasn't got the legs in him to be a CDM. He is a centre attacking midfielder. And I think Erik ten Hag needed to realise that yesterday. I thought it was quite naive. But again, that was probably the biggest shock from that team news yesterday, that Eriksen was starting. And it did concern me because I'm thinking, bloody hell, I thought the long-term plan is Eriksen isn't going to be here. Casemiro won't be here. And they're still getting the game time. I mean, the only glimpse of Casemiro he had yesterday when he played that brilliant through ball that Southampton back four didn't anticipate. You have Delot running onto it. They don't anticipate Delot's run. He gets into Southampton penalty area, plays a low ball to Garnacho. Garnacho smashes in and makes it 3-0 and finishes them off. So that's the only glimpse of brilliance that, Casemiro had yesterday. And probably that's been the best he's had all season. 4 games in, that's probably the best bit Casemiro has done. And again, it is sad. Like the decline of Casemiro is really, really sad. He's been brilliant in his career. He's one of the best midfielders in the world football that this game has seen. And he's one of the best Brazilian internationals I've seen play for this club. Like a lot of Brazilian players that have come to this club have not succeeded. It's not worked. And, they have failed. They have failed badly. And, I would only really realistically say the only three good Brazilian players apart from Casemiro that have been in the club are Rafael and Fabio da Silva, and probably Anderson. Like apart from that, a lot of those other Brazilian players we've had haven't worked. And Casemiro came along, and that midfield got transformed very, very quickly, and the impact he made was magnificent in season 1. But again, I think he now needs to look at the situation. If Eriksen and Casemiro don't start Tuesday, they need to be moved on in January, and United need to find them both a move. And if they both have to be sold at a loss, United are going to have to do it. I mean, if you sell Eriksen, it's profit because you got him for free. So it's a win-win situation. And again, Eriksen's age is not on his side. Casemiro, I think he knows. I think he knows. That Agate signing, I think he knows. I realistically think Casemiro knows now. I think he knows that time's up because he isn't going to get the game time. He isn't going to get played a lot. And I think he's going to look at that midfield roster and then he's going to shit himself thinking, where the fuck do I play? Where do I fit in? You don't, Casemiro. That's the thing. You don't fit in. And you're not going to fit in. You're going to be out this team because we don't see long-term longevity with you starting in this team. Because time's running out of his career. Like, there's only so much, a footballer can do in his footballing career. And, it will be a sad day when Casemiro retires. But, again, I think it's been figured out quite quickly. As soon as we signed Agate, I bet Casemiro and Eriksen thought we should have got a move. We should have both moved because we aren't going to play. It's going to be simple as that. We aren't going to get picked. And I don't think they'll get both played Tuesday. I severely doubt it that they'll both play. I really, really doubt it. I think that midfield roster for Tuesday will be mainly Fernandes and Agate. I think that is what we need to go to long term with. I mean, eventually we will need a replacement for Bruno because Bruno won't be here forever. I think we all need to realise that when Bruno Fernandes leaves, that's going to be a sad day because it's like when Ronaldo walked out. When we brought Ronaldo back, when he left the first time, I bawled my eyes out when Ronaldo left. I was still at school. And when Ronaldo left, I was on the way home from school and my bus driver told me, do you know Ronaldo's gone? I was like, you what? I stormed into my house door and I cried. I was like, that's over. This glory days is over. We've lost Ronaldo and we lost Tevez in that summer. I thought, fuck me. And I think it'll be the same situation when Bruno Fernandes goes. Like, you're going to need a replacement who's at the same type of quality. And I think, again, I know who I think that is personally. I think that only option we can go for is Frankie de Jong. But I don't think he'll ever leave Barcelona. Plus, when he's on 600k a week, that won't happen. But again, that is what I would do for the midfield. I think we've discussed the attack that I would still keep with Xerxes and hopefully he finds the back of the net on Tuesday night. And if he doesn't, then we've got a big problem. Rashford, obviously, I would bench and give Garnacho some game time. I wouldn't even give Anthony a game. I mean, will Anthony ever play again? I mean, 4 games in. I mean, he only played 5 minutes against Brighton in the 2-1 defeat at the Amex. He didn't feature yesterday. And he didn't feature in that Community Shield. So I don't see how Anthony will come into the team. I think he'll still stick with Ahmad. And again, Ahmad's that player that we all hoped and what he's going to be. And I think Ahmad's already doing it. I thought Ahmad was fantastic yesterday. I thought Diallo was amazing. I think Ahmad is the right winger solution that we needed. And again, United paid big money for Sancho. That didn't work out. Paid money for Palestri. That didn't work. So, Ahmad is the only right wing option we have. And again, we will need another right wing option eventually because if you lose Rashford eventually and Garnacho, my God, we are in big trouble because where do you go from there? So I think we'll stick The front three, I think, will just make one change, and it'll be Garnacho for Rashford and give Rashford a rest. The back four we've discussed. And you know what? Maybe Onana won't play. Maybe we will give that backup goalkeeper some game time in Bandia again. Why did we sign him? I mean, I know it's a backup goalkeeper, but like, wow. We paid 10 million from Fenerbahce he played for? We paid 10 million and he's hardly featured in his last United appearance was in the FA Cup last season away to Newport County. That was the last time he played. And again, I think that's because Eric Ten Hag don't rate him. I don't think Brandy is good enough, personally. But again, I think he'll probably rest Onana. But will he want to keep the same momentum on the same team? Because he knows we've got players coming back. I'm just saying, will we give Onana a break and give Brandy a game? I'm just not sure, really. I think Eric Ten Hag will want to try and stick with the same team and the same players and try and get that momentum building and growing ahead of the upcoming season, because we have got some difficult fixtures coming up. We've got to play Palace away. We've got to play Tottenham at home. We've got Villa away. We've got FC20 in the Europa League at home. So, we have got big games coming up. And I think, he'll want to give some of these players a rest and a break. And maybe we'll see a team that we don't recognise Tuesday. I'm not sure what team he will go with. But again, I think we have to take this Carabao Cup quite seriously, because I don't want to go out of it. Like, it would be quite embarrassing to lose to a team that are in a league 2 leagues lower than you. That would be a big, 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 big disappointment. And I don't want to lose to Barnsley, because, if we go out and we lose, the banter, we're going to get off our rivals. We're like, oh, you've lost to League One Barnsley. That shouldn't have bloody happened. Yeah, it shouldn't have happened, but I would take this seriously. And I think the scoreline is going to be quite comprehensive. Like, I'm not being rude. I think we could score 8-9 goals on Tuesday. And that's not me being over realistic. If Barnsley are conceding 3, can you imagine what we can do to them on Tuesday? Like, United could absolutely tear them apart. If we're 3 or 4-0 up at half time, the game's won. But then still go and score a few more. Show that we can get our goal scoring boots on. Show that we are starting to score more goals, because that is what we're going to want. That is what we're going to need. We are going to need to start finding the back of the net more. And that is what I'm hoping for on Tuesday. I want to put a statement out. I want a statement of intent. I want to show to our rivals that we've got the goal scoring problems from last season that are a distant memory. And I hope Man United do take this seriously. I hope Man United don't piss about. I hope Man United don't mess about. Like, still take this quite seriously, but don't get too cocky thinking the game's won. Don't go into that game overhyped and too cocky. Take it seriously and get the game won. That's I think that's all we're asking, really. It's like United win the game, we go through to the 4th round, and let's see what awaits us for the rest of the Carabao Cup. Because again, it's a competition I would like to see us win. I'm hoping we can try and win it back. And obviously, like I said to you at the start of this live, that we can try and win the FA Cup and Europa League. If you win 3 trophies, bloody hell, that is a good season. And then you're back in the Champions League if you win the Europa League again. So I think United have got a long season. Again, we'll be playing a lot of football. But again, I'm really looking forward to Tuesday night, because we've had the kindest draw. I mean, Liverpool have got West Ham. I mean, that's a tough game for both clubs. That is a really, really tough game for both clubs. And we are going to need some shocks. We are going to need our rivals to go crashing out of this. But I would expect the big guns to, really be alive for this and try and want to win as well. Like, I think a lot of the top 6, some of them might take it seriously, some might not. I mean, it depends on what their managers want from the Carabao Cup. Do they see it as a big priority? Again, it's a piss-ass competition, really. It's nothing more than the UEFA Nations League. But, I think we could win 8 or 9-0 on Tuesday. And do you know what? That might be the scoreline I go for. I think we could win at least 8-9-0. I think we've got the firepower to do a lot of damage to Barnsley. And again, if you're losing 3-0 to Stevenage in your previous League One fixture, then you are in big, big trouble heading into Old Trafford, because we will want to build that fortress again. And again, the changes I would make. I would start Agate with Mainu and Fernandez, drop Rashford for Garnacho, And I'm just hoping that we've got Mazraoui and Martinez both fit, because if we haven't, we're back to Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire, which, absolutely terrifies me. But let's see what updates we get, and let's see what team news we get before Tuesday, because you never know with Man United. But if we're back to Evans and Maguire for a long period, it could be a long season ahead, just like last season. But let's wait and see. So I hope you enjoyed this live look ahead for the Carabao Cup third round on Tuesday night against Sky Bet League One Barnsley under Darryl Clark. Remember to hit the like button and the share button. Please keep subscribing to the channel, United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Share the video, hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button. And to always remember the notification bell. Put that bell on at all times so you receive dedicated upcoming content planned for the rest of these last few remaining months in 2024. We've got brand new videos, brand new shorts, brand new live stream, brand new content. I want to try and get all of you guys more involved. We'll be back with some live Fortnite this week. We've got week 5 weekly quests, and we've got I Am Iron Man story quest on Fortnite as well. So look out for that on Tuesday. No, actually, that'll probably be Wednesday, because we've got United on Tuesday. I've got to see my brother Tuesday. I've got to go and do some bits on Tuesday. So that'll probably be Wednesday now. So it's going to be a busy day. And obviously, join me for the full-time reaction and full-time whistle from Old Trafford on Tuesday night, which hopefully is a comprehensive and quite an emphatic win against League One Barnsley in the Carabao Cup third round. Enjoy your weekend. Stay safe. Be nice. Be kind to each other. You're all legends. You're all legendary. I'll see you on the next one, people.